promotions, more appointments in this administration. And I believe that the president is a man of honor, he's a man of dignity, and he knows fairness. So in due course, we'll be getting our due presentation, and that is what I believe in.
Earlier about, some sort of perceived difficulties in advancing this position within your party, after which you immediately said that the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a known man, is a man known for fairness and equity and doing the right thing. But you did speak about challenges or limitations in advancing your position. What would you care to share some of those?
Sorry, I didn't get that right.
You spoke about your personal, as the zonal chair, APC Southeast, in advancing the cause for the removal, eradication of the alleged Igbo marginalization. You did say, and promoting indeed what is required, you did say that you experienced some limitations from here to, here and there. I was asking, would you care to share the nature of such limitations and what could possibly be done to make it better within your party?
Well, for me, I believe that the Southeast didn't play the very right politics in the last election, the last 3 elections. We were very emotional and sentimental, and it is quite understandable. So we faced a lot of challenges in the last election. We were labeled all sorts because of blackmails from opposition parties. And we were much victorious. That is the major challenge we face. But for benefits to the party, we are from the administration to our zone, we are very hopeful that we'll be fairly treated in due course.
Well, yeah. But, people have said in the past, not really talking about any of these regional aspects to politics, but the fact that in politics, nobody is going to hand you anything on a plate of gold or silver. In short, nobody is going to make it easy, and that's not the nature of politics, that you strategize, you come together, and you legitimately take that which is yours, which some people might be foot dragging on. Is this a situation in which you consider that that might not be the best strategy? This whole matter about nobody hands you, your due politically on a plate of gold, or maybe you don't really see eye to eye with that concept.
Sorry, I didn't get that question.
Okay. This whole political concept of nobody hands anybody anything on a plate of gold in politics, that people have to come together, strategize, and legitimately take that which is theirs. I was wondering how much stock you place on such a concept.
Yes. I know that our leaders in the zone, our leader, the governor of Imo State, Governor Hope Uzodimma, with other leaders, Wifuru, the governor of Ebonyi, and our people generally are working hard to improve the fortune of the zone from the administration. And I believe that will yield a lot of good fruit. On my own, anytime I have the opportunities to talk to, I plead for more inclusiveness. But then there's always this question of the number of votes that the Southeast gave to the party in the last administration, and fairly so. We did not vote for the APC because of the emotion of our brother that was in the race, and because of what people believed. But I tell you now that our people have realized their mistakes, and on a daily basis you see people from the other parties joining us planning to move over to the APC, and our communities are very geared to work and support the APC in any forthcoming election. So I think we realized what went wrong the last time, and we are working hard to improve the fortune of the party in this zone. Thank you. And experience of our people from the administration. Thank you.
Well, the Igbo conference that I was speaking about, it had many things to it, apart from these important questions. It was all draped in culture, but it needs to be noted that, and I'm looking at it here so as to be very sure of the wording of the theme, bridging the Igbo homeland diaspora, that is bridging the Igbo homeland diaspora disconnect for transforming our present and our future together. So that's what it was all about, bridging the homeland diaspora disconnect for transforming our present and future together. How is it, because the diaspora was a key part of this, there were contributors from all over the world, all sorts of Igbo groupings, the academia, the professionals, veterans of all sorts. Tell me about the importance of the diaspora to this laudable objective.
Well, the diaspora is very important in the Nigerian politics and economy. From record, we get more inflow of liquidity from the diaspora than we get even from the oil. So there are people that cannot be ignored, not only because of the volume of money they repatriate to the Nigerian economy, also because the diaspora, they are all educated and respected in their various communities. And in election circles, they have the power and the opportunity to tell their people, this is what I feel. This is what I feel you should do. This is the direction we can vote. So the diaspora cannot be ignored. I was responding to some journalists sometime about the health communities that are moving abroad to practice. I said, yes, they have their own shortcomings and their benefits. The benefits, apart from the economic repatriation to the country, there is also benefits in the improvement on their skills and the opportunities of being able to bring a lot of development to the country. So yes, the diaspora community cannot be ignored at all. The party and the administration is working very hard to make it possible for diasporans to vote, maybe in their embassy. But that has not happened, and we are looking forward to that. Thank you.
Okay. Calling in from Abuja on the program this morning, Chibuike, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Uncle Yuri.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good morning to your guest in the studio.
Yes, Dr. Adodio.
Okay, good morning.
So, on the question where you asked if the Igbos are marginalized, and my brother is not trying to say it the way it is, please, he should know that he's presenting Igbo people and not APC. The Igbo people are marginalized in Nigeria, and we are not begging anybody. The truth is that we require another state. That is just fairness. Do you understand? If other geopolitical zones have, higher states, we are supposed to be equal to others. That's only fairness. Do you understand? You don't come and you're saying, trying to patronize APC. And then on the question whether the Igbo people voted APC or voted P2B, if P2B come again, we are still going to vote him. It's not about his tribe, it's about his personality. Okay? So that is just what I want him to play. And I just want him to represent the Igbos very well. not missing word because he's an APC member. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for calling in. Dr. Arodiogo, I don't know how you take that comment about mincing words about Ndigbo, the situation in Nigeria, because you are an APC member.
I think he was not fair in his, or I don't know what he heard. I said it clearly, yes, that I believe that we deserve an additional, at least an additional state for equity. But that I'm hopeful that the current administration is listening to our concerns. That was what I said. And that's not patronizing at all. I accepted the fact, yes, we deserve more states. So I don't know how better he wants me to say it.
No. Okay. Well, when he spoke about, well, you know, first of all, anybody and everybody is allowed to vote the way they want. You heard the comment he made. Well, that was his personal comment. And naturally, in your party, and you being chairman of the zone, the southeast zone of APC, you definitely need more votes than, you know, have been in the past. You heard the statement he made that it was his personal opinion and right to say that if situations present themselves in a certain way again, he personally feels that he and those of like mind will go the way that they went then. So it comes back to the matter of what is being referred to as the nature of Igbo politics. What would be your commentary?
Well, like you said, that's his personal opinion. But we get vibes, we do research, we know what our people are saying now, that they were deceived on some sentiments and they will not make the same mistake again. He is talking about his own personal opinion, but that is not the opinion of most Igbo people. Most people from my geopolitical zone are saying in any forthcoming election, we will vote for you. We've had a lot of off-season elections in the Southeast, you know, and we won in those off-season elections. The Senate seats in Ebonyi State, we won landslide. All the off-season election that has happened, the APC won. And come to think about it, APC remains the most popular party in the Southeast zone. The APC, there are 5 states in the Southeast. The APC is the only state that has 2 governors, Imo and Ebonyi. Enugu is PDP. Abia is Labour Party, while Anambra is APGA. So the APC has more governors, more senators, more House of Representative members. So we are still the biggest and most popular party in the zone. We made a mistake which a lot of people are telling us, please, we are just waiting for the next election to make the narrative right. But they believe too that their voting pattern also helped the APC to win the presidential election. And if you analyze it, you can see some sense in what they said. They said because most of the votes that they gave to Labour Party would have gone to PDP, because the Southeast has been known as a PDP state historically. But because of their voting pattern, the APC was able to win. But in the next coming election, they are determined to vote directly for APC, and APC will carry the day. The next election is about the Southeast, and the party is aware of that. And the Southeast will stand up to the occasion and vote for the APC. That's his personal emotion. Who knows where it's coming from? He might be, he's definitely a member of one of the opposition parties, and we are not even sure whether he's from any of the 5 Southeast states. Thank you.
Okay. All right then. Mr. George in Lagos, Ikeja, thank you for holding on. Go ahead now, please.
Thank you, Uncle Yori, and good morning to our guest.
Dr. Arodiogu.
Yes, Doctor. Uncle Yori, I have a candid advice for the guest on 2 issues. I'm happy that at its level, they are already building bridges. I, as a Nigerian, I would like to see a president of Nigeria from the Southeast one day. But the Easterners need to talk to Mr. Peter Obi. The way and manner he is going about it, that may not happen. This attitude of let us snatch it at all costs, he cannot bring it about unless you build bridges like the doctor is saying now. We have a country where everybody from any zone is free to become the president. So the East also have a right to be called the president. But in politics, you build bridges, and it's a game of numbers. If you don't have sufficient numbers, you have to build bridges in order to get sufficient numbers from other zones and get there. Let the attitude, what he is saying now, it seems to be taking the right course, and that is the one that will work. Regarding state creation, Uncle Yori, I see it this way. There is a pattern, there is a basis for creating states. Each zone does not necessarily have to have the same number of states. We have a zone that has 7 states, we have some zones that have 6 states, and we have one zone that has 5 states. If you look at the land space, the land, of the different zones, they are not the same. If the Southeast is saying that there must be 6, then those who have 6 will later come out and say we want our own to be 7 too, since there is a zone that has 7. Why don't we just leave it like that and concentrate on more serious issues like this political one we are talking about, so that one day we can see a president from the Southeast? That's what I want to see. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in. Okay. Dr. Joma.
Yeah.
I see you smiled at that.
I want to thank the last speaker, and clearly so. For me, Peter Obi played a very tribal politics, which is very risky, which is very dangerous, and we cannot become president like that with that style. You know, the sentiment of tribe and religion are mundane for modern society, for crying out loud. You know, and that is just what he played. He just made the people believe, hey, Muslim ticket, APC, they are going to convert all of us. I am Catholic and I'm still Catholic now. And nobody has, by any means or any style, tried to convince me from being a Catholic to being a Muslim. I was in Ebonyi State on Sunday. I attended Mass with the governor. And that is where we are. Nobody talks about it. In fact, the thing is this. Nobody has anything to say now. President Tinubu has performed beyond the expectation of every Nigerian. And I stand to be contradicted. I stand to be proved right by anybody. He has outperformed everybody's expectation. And we are very proud of him. And we are expecting that the Nigerian people will see the records in the next coming election and vote en masse for him. That is what is important. What is important is that the economy of Nigeria has tremendously improved. Yes, we are not there yet, and there is a lot of suffering in the land. The price of commodities are very high, and we all buy from the same market. The rain is beating on every roof. Everybody is feeling it. We are feeling it too. But you see that the major problem of the Nigerian people is lack of patriotism. Before, when the dollar was going up, everybody was shouting, it has added 1 naira to do, 10 naira tomorrow. But now it's coming down. Nobody's talking about it because people want bad news to talk about bad news. They want the people to suffer so that they can remain social media bullies. And now, looking at the administration, what it has achieved, you know that someone that comes down with cancer didn't contract the cancer today. Depending on the organ where it attacked, it could have been there for 10 years, 20 years, and you don't know. But it's when you start feeling the symptoms that you know that something is wrong with you. But it didn't start then. Over the years, the Nigerian economy from independence has been going the wrong route. Okay? You can imagine a situation where we borrow money to subsidize our forests. to subsidize the fuel. It is crazy. But the president said, no, this cannot go on. We have to recover our country for the future generation. We have to suffer some pain. I say it, if you have malaria, quinine is bitter, but you will be forced to drink it. That is what we are going through today. We are going through hardship so that we can repair what other people did not have the guts to repair. Other presidents did not have the guts to repair in the past. That is what we are going through. But you find out that a lot of leaders of thought that should educate the people and talk to the people are more comfortable with pedestrian views. Hey, the wolf is out there. People are suffering. They are not interrogating the fact. Where did we start from? And where are we now? What is tomorrow going to look like? Tomorrow, I assure you, from what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing, will be brighter for every Nigerian. That is my view.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Dr. Arodiogu. Let me take Benga calling in from Abuja before I go on break. Good morning to you, Benga, calling in from Abuja.
Good morning, Mr. Yori. Good morning to your guest there.
Yes.
You mentioned one thing which we should all appreciate. And APC should appreciate it. That Southeast helped APC to win election. And it's a statement of fact. Let me tell you, Mr. Yori, if not for B emergence, APC would have lost that election woefully. Because, number one, before build up to the election, there was also strike. The youth were already bitter with APC. We to handle the issue. To make it worse, first scarcity followed. Then to nail the coffin, toleration of Naira, which APC not themselves, like Rufai, fought against within their own. They fought the president that, look, this is against us. And in fact, if you see what happened during that change of Naira, and the president alluded to it, that because a man of courage and fortitude, he said, look, I will see this thing through. And a Labour Party helped them in the Southeast to take away the vote PDP will have gotten. If not that, everything will have missed. What I want to advise my guests is that, having alluded to that and acknowledge that, they should now work with this thing by being at the OBC contest in the next election to see help APC to win again, so that in the next coming one, the whole of APC will now come together and say, Southeast must win. At that time, all regions of the country will be in AP to say, no, these people have worked for us, we want to work for them, let us win. But that would be in the next about 2031. Because the thing will go to the north, the next after 8 years, on APC, they'll come to the south. But they can start to build up now by working together and make sure that they retain that momentum what they are working. Because I've been seeing them working, they have 2 states now, let them get 1 more state to it. Before you know it, they get 4, they get 5. But let me tell you, APC must compensate them for the thing they do. And they should do it in the next coming election. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Benga. Okay, our guest, Dr. Ijeoma Arodiogu, Zonal Chair, APC Southeast, will react to that. But let me go on a quick break. I'll be right back. So hold your thoughts, Doctor. We'll be right back now. Stay with us, please.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did this happen? We will be right there.
At TVC News, we follow the big and major news, gathering the facts, witnessing the outcome.
I am here live at the aftermath of the approval of the new national minimum wage.
We are TV Station of the Year, not just for breaking news, but for being first, fair and accurate. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Sometimes it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
School, I need students, but I need teacher.
Can't continue like this.
Their voices were echoing through time itself.
We haven't done anything. if the tide is high, everybody run for safety.
Their tears leave a sweet sour taste for all their demands, a familiar call beckoning for change. In our world, no one expects a disaster to happen. But when it does, we'll be there to x-ray all sides, from the east to the west, north and south. Community Forum will examine the oddities and challenges to economic development, as well as issues yearning for government intervention. Watch fresh episodes of Community Forum on Sundays by 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
Okay, welcome back. And against the background of a World Igbo Conference held recently, main theme of which was bridging homeland diaspora disconnect in doing, the thrust and push for Igbo advancement. It's against that backdrop that we're having this conversation. And our guest is Dr. Ijeoma Arodiogo. He's Zonal Chair, APC Southeast. Now, I don't know, you might have some thoughts on that last caller before we went on break, who called in from Abuja. Is that the case? Did you want to comment on that contribution? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He said we need another P2B contesting to maintain the voting pattern of the last presidential election that gave APC victory. My answer is no. The people of the Southeast have now realized that it is very important to join the party at the center, that it is very important to be able to decipher truth from falsehood. And the truth they know now is that as this country stands now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the best choice, is the best thing that happened to Nigeria. And I tell you, if Tinubu had not become the president of Nigeria today, there would have been so much crisis, because it would have gotten to a situation where we cannot borrow to pay salary of the police, of the army, of the doctors, and Nigeria would have been in total crisis. And the Igbo people know that, and they appreciate that, and they are telling us that, both privately and publicly. Okay? I heard some people that started complaining. Why are Igbos not complaining? Why are Igbos not demonstrating against the hardship? And I tell them, the Igbos know, they know better. They are enterprising and educated people. They know that what is going on in Nigeria today is a very, very necessary direction to recover the country. So the Igbos have promised us that in the next election, in any forthcoming election, they will vote for us en masse. Yes, I agree with him also about taking more states. We are going for election in 2025 in Anambra State. And I believe that we are going to coast to the coast with victory. We are going for other elections in 2027. And I advise you to watch out what is going to happen. Because my people now know leaders of the other political parties, including Labour parties, are moving over to the APC because they are now seeing the light. They are now seeing that the tales and lies and deceit by our brother, the candidate of the Labour Party, are not true. They don't have anything to say anymore. People are coming to us. So in the next election, I assure you, we don't need anybody. We are going to see 6 turned the other way around. It will be 9. So that is where we are going to, and that is what we are working towards. We are working very hard. We are consulting in every state, every nook and cranny, for the benefit of our party. And our people will not be deceived this time around. So they will vote, they will turn 6 to 9. And APC will have a sweep in any forthcoming election. Thank you.
One of the things at the conference I'm talking about, the World Igbo Conference, It was brought up there. The whole matter of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was brought up there, and there were those who were saying there were contributions indicating that enough wasn't being done. This was refuted by the chairman of Ndibo Worldwide. This idea was refuted, but points were made about, look, if you have Sunday Igboho in his campaign, having secured, as it was called, an unconditional release, they couldn't see any reason why Nnamdi Kanu still had to be in the situation that he is. Do you have any thoughts on that whole comparison and that whole position?
Well, I won't be commenting on an issue before the court. Thank you.
Okay, you think it is too hot an issue because it was brought up at this conference, and such was the depth of feeling on it.
Yeah, the matter is before the court, so I think it is better to allow the court take its due course. I believe that leaders of the Igbo people, the Ohaneze, and a lot of well-meaning Igbo people are having a lot of consultation over the issue. And I'm a political leader. I'm watching the client, and that is it. Thank you. It's a matter before the court. I won't be making comment on it.
Okay, let me bring in David in Umuahia. Good morning, David.
Yeah, good morning.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. I want to appreciate the man, our guest, National Vice Chairman. I must say, APC actually doing a good work in Southeast. Because now let's get to compare. Look at states like Abia State, Anambra, Enugu State, that are being ruled by other governors that's not from APC. Then compare it to Ebonyi State and Imo State that is being ruled by APC governors. You could just see what they've done within these few years of them being on state. And you can clearly know that APC, they're actually doing a good work in Southeast. I feel we should give them more opportunities. Let them have more states, and they could probably do more good things for South. Compare Ebonyi State, Imo State to all other states in Southeast. Definitely, you will know that APC, they are doing good work. And I must appreciate the National Vice Chairman, Dr. Ijoma Rodiobu, for coming out today and boldly saying everything that he's actually saying. Thank you, sir, and thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much for the call. Dr. Rodiobu, did you want to say something?
Yeah. I want to appreciate the last caller. It is true. He just said the truth. Yes, we feel it and we know it. The two governors from APC are doing wonderfully, exceptionally well. If you go to Imo State, you don't need to be honest to feel it, to see that Governor Hope Uzodinma is doing extremely well, both in infrastructure and business of government. If you go to Ebonyi, you know that Dave Umahi, when he was governor of Ebonyi, has done exceptionally well too. And the current governor, I was in Ebonyi Sunday, like I said, the current governor, Honorable Francis Muifuru, is doing too well. So every other state in the Southeast are envious. And that is why they are calling us, please, we want to be like Imo and Ebonyi. We want APC, come and govern us. So I don't see anybody telling us that we need a P2B to contest for. Everybody knows the Igbo people are not complaining. If other people are demonstrating, the Igbo people say, no, we appreciate Bola Tinubu. We appreciate the APC. We can key to what you're doing, and we promise you that in the future, in any future election, like I said earlier, we want to vote for APC. We want to support and key into what APC is doing in our brother states. So thank you, the last speaker. You've just said the honest truth. You're a good man.
Indeed. The President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo, Chief Emmanuel Uwayawo, had criticized what he referred to as the lopsided development, application of federal character policy by governments. You have any thoughts to share on that?
Well, I don't know precisely what he means. I didn't read his speech or listen to it. So I don't have details about what he said. But I do not believe that in this current administration, that the federal character is not being observed. I said we are hoping for more. Yes, and we pray for more. We ask for more. And the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, knows he's a man of justice, a man of fairness. He's a true politician who knows what it takes to win votes. And I know he's consulting richly and extensively with our leaders like Hope Uzodinma on how to give more support to the Southeast. Thank you.
Okay. Away from politics, but actually you can't really say away from politics. It was also brought up at that conference that there were issues that were infiltrating into Igbo culture, that were actually threatening its, not just the culture, but also its language and heritage. And that there was a sort of a recommendation that this should be under consideration. I guess all peoples, in Nigeria, perhaps even in the world, are concerned about this in the increasing globalization of the world. Keeping, and transferring to generations unborn their cultural heritage. Maybe would you like to speak on this generally, this whole matter about perpetuating the Igbo culture, which, I certainly know that the Yorubas are interested in doing, many other peoples are very much interested in doing, but it was brought up at that conference that let's spare a thought for that.
So, yeah, I support upholding the culture of our people. I, for one, my children speak Igbo to me. If you want my attention, you speak Igbo, or I won't communicate well with you. They know that because I want them, and they do, I want them to understand my language and always to speak it. And anytime I say, come, you'll be very ashamed of yourself if you can't speak Igbo. Because when you go out in school, you can learn English, you can learn any other language. But once you come to this house, it's only Igbo I want to speak with you. So I believe in culture. And I come from a town where culture, Arondi Zog, in Imo State. Everybody knows Arondi Zog as a home of culture. Last week, we had our cultural festival, Ikeji, and I was there. So I promote culture, and I believe that cultural heritage should be preserved jealously among our people. But you find a situation where someone that lives in Aba or Nisha, barely educated, is struggling to speak Igbo with the children. So when you speak English with the children at home, and I frown at that, because when they go to school, what will they now speak? They will speak the same English you're struggling, and they will know that your English is not even good when their teacher teaches them the right English. And you're struggling as a teacher, as a trader, to speak English to your children. I don't do that. And I encourage anybody that cares to hear, and any friend I have, please, when you go home, try to tell your people where they come from. At least twice a year, I take my children to the village. They know where they come from. So I promote every culture of Nigeria.
Okay. Dr. Okoye in Benin is waiting to join the program. Good morning to you, Dr. Okoye.
Morning, sir.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm enjoying the program, and I want to sincerely ask Dr. Ijoma, he should not be too sentimental about APC. Yes, APC government have been doing a lot, and they have much more to do. Southeasterners are agitating. What are we agitating for? We need adequate roads. We need seaports. The seaport in Apapa is congested. What happened to the southeast? If we need all these things in place, nobody will agitate. And secondly, you asked him about Nnamdi Kanu, and he shied away of not responding that the court is handling the issue fine. Let that man be released unconditionally, please, because there are people who have committed heinous crime, and today they are walking freely the road of Nigeria, and while the man is languishing in the prison. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Okoye. Okay, now, Dr. Arodiogbo, briefly, please, because we're running out of time, but would you like to touch on the points he made, the two major points that he made?
Yeah, we're agitating for more infrastructure, yes. And I accepted that we deserve more. But resources, we know, are limited. So they should feel the condition of the government. We are coming from a very negative, this administration resumed at a very negative outlook. So as the economy improves, I believe that we'll get our fair share. But our governors, for now, are doing a whole lot, in the various states. Thank you. About the seaport, I know that there is a project going on at Egbema in Imo State. The dredging of the Orashi River to the Atlantic Ocean. A lot of naysayers want to say, how possible is it to do that seaport? But the governor is doing it.
Okay.
And he's getting support from the federal government. So people most times don't interrogate the issues they present. People talk when they have not even visited those places. So it's for us to make our time to identify what our governments are doing. We have to show interest. And it is for us to do. The government will not force us to do so. Thank you.
All right, then. Well, I want to thank you very much for coming on the program, Dr. Ojioma Arodiogbo. The other question that was raised by Dr. Okoye in Benin, you had already said you were not going to comment on any matter before the court. So I suppose we have to leave it at that. But I do want to thank you for coming on our program this morning. Dr. Arodiogbo is the zonal chairman, APC Southeast of Nigeria. Once again, Doctor, thank you very much for coming on our program.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Indeed. So we're going to have to leave it there. Do join us tomorrow for another edition. I am Iyori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Tired of pans that scratch and stick? Or cookware that takes up valuable space in your kitchen and are of little to no use? Cooking used to be fun, but now it just feels like a chore. Introducing ShopX Gotham Hammered Copper Collection, the perfect cookware to upgrade your cooking experience. The Gotham Hammered Copper Collection features a super durable ultra non-stick surface. Eggs stick to other pans, but with the Hammered Copper Collection, they slide right out. Incredible! Plus, the Cool Touch solid cast handle makes it safe and easy to cook even the hottest dishes. It's oven safe up to 500 degrees, so bake this beautiful chicken suya pizza and serve it straight from the pan. Or this tasty, delicious cake that will have your whole family asking for more. Any recipe can be made in these pans, and then it wipes clean with ease, so cleanup is a breeze. Plus, use your hammered copper pan to make homemade pancakes that flips and slips right out. Or make mouth-watering jollof rice or even fluffy poundo with ease, because nothing sticks.
I needed a cookware to keep up with me. The Gotham Hammered Collection has been a game changer. No more burnt meals or hours spent scrubbing pots.
from ShopX TV.
The Inspector General of Police has met with senior officers to review the state of security. We are continuing our coverage of the arrest of Godwin Emefiele.
The Senate has summoned the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria to properly brief the Senate regarding the state of the economy.
President Bola Tinubu has announced the total removal of fuel subsidy.
The fresh subsidy is gone. What I will never take is threat.
Let's now bring you more development from Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, where an explosion has taken place. Tell us about this incident.
TVC News. First with breaking news. At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News.
Hello everyone, welcome to TVC News at noon. Most parts of the country are still experiencing petrol scarcity as residents remain stranded due to unavailability of commercial vehicles and hike in fares. In the nation's capital, long queues have resurfaced in petrol stations with residents concerned over unavailability of petrol. Here in Lagos, there are few commercial vehicles on the roads, which ultimately led to hike in fares. Ayomide Ajegbe visited some filling stations in Lagos State. He now reports.
The queues are back. Nigerians are struggling to get fuel. While some are selling, others are not. The cause of this scarcity is unknown to many Nigerians. Some say the petroleum marketers are expecting a hike on fuel price. Others say there is a possibility for a downward review of prices.
I think maybe it's because probably they said they want to increase fuel price. So some people may actually want to quickly use that, take advantage of it by making excess money, you know.
Some person was suggesting that probably was because they are anticipating the drop in the fuel price and the filling stations having some commodity with them. They want to sell at higher prices before they begin to sell the cheaper rates.
Those who are unable to get fuel in their cars are taking the unconventional route of black market, selling as much as 5,000 naira for 5 liters.
What we gathered here was that earlier when they were selling to kegs as priority. So they collect 1,000 naira from those who bring in kegs and they sell to them. So they can sell for like 30 kegs in a row before they attend to vehicles. On the camera, you can see some of the staff of the mobile filling station are there. They are no longer selling. They just decided to hold back the fuel, and the fuel is there. They are not selling to customers. So a lot of people are apprehensive here. They are angry, they are agitated. Someone said he has been here since 5 o'clock in the morning. So we wonder what is going to happen. We were told the task force were here earlier to ensure that people were selling fuel. But then, immediately they left, things went back to status quo. That is the reality of Lagosians today.
This woman, a commercial driver, is a mother of 5 and the breadwinner of a family. She's angry and frustrated because she has been on the queue for more than 4 hours and has no clue whether she will get fuel or not.
Been here since 4 hours ago now. They are not selling fuel. They are selling keg. They will stop after 1 hour. They sell keg. They don't attend to cars. We are just waiting.
Commercial drivers are taking advantage of the situation to hike fares, and one can only hope the situation will abate in the coming days. Ayomide Ajaybe, TVC News, Lagos.
The situation is no different in Ogun State as residents spend long hours at petrol stations. TVC News' Kazim Olowe reports that only few stations are dispensing the product.
That was the situation in most of the petrol filling stations in Abeokuta and other parts of Ogun State. Many filling stations were locked while others opened for business but only sell for a few minutes and shut down their operations. Aside from the NNPC stations selling to people at the rate of 580 naira, others were selling between 690 naira and 750 naira.
We've been out here in Obantoko since about 6 a.m. searching for fuel. This is the only filling station that has been attending to people the regular way, although the price is a bit higher than what we used to buy. But right now they're selling to people. The fuel scarcity here in Obantoko is too much. Most taxi drivers can't work the way they should. Bike riders are not working the way they should. Even people using this petrol for their daily needs are not doing well at all.
They sell some time ago and they off the gen due to the crowd. Because some people, I know this one, you know me, person no person. So all those ones, that's what's going on. Now students have resumed. They are unable to go to their school now. My children are at home.
Residents say they are yet to get any meaningful explanations on why they have to experience another fuel scarcity this time around, but a manager of a petrol filling station in Abeokuta attributed the scarcity to panic buying.
This is the problem of stepping down importation and relying solely on our own. But before we can rely solely on our own, people have invested their money into farm tanks. They have spent dollars to import fuel, So NNPC has given us window that go and empty all your imported fuel so that the NNPC price regime can take its full course. And so there is panic buying, and it has now become survival of the fittest.
Some residents say they now resort to patronizing what is known as black market, where a liter of petrol goes for 1,200 naira. They want urgent intervention in order to make things better for the people. Kazim Olowe, TVC News, Abeokuta.
Elsewhere, a rehabilitation of the Kaduna Petroleum Refinery is underway, and the managing director has stated that the plant could commence production of at least 60,000 barrels per day by the end of December. This was made known during a visit by the Senate Ad Hoc Committee of the NNPC, led by Senator Ifeanyi Ubah. Lupe Assam reports.
Nigeria has 4 refineries with a combined production capacity of 450,000 barrels per day. But for years, these vital assets have not been in operation. Several citizens say it is disheartening to see these refineries lie idle, knowing they could be providing for our nation and contributing to our economy.
The Kaduna refinery, last maintained in 2008, is currently undergoing a quick fix maintenance with a projected restart of production before the year ends.
We are starting with only 60% of that. 60% of that will be available anytime from December 31st, 2024. That is like 66,000 barrels.
The Senate Ad Hoc Committee on the Investigation of Turnaround Maintenance in the nation's refineries, led by Senator Ifeanyi Ubah, conducted an oversight visit to assess the situation.
We have gone to refinery in Warri, in Port Harcourt, and today we are in Kaduna. And to the best of our knowledge, we can see activities. We need to go back home, work with our technical team, and then come out with a verdict. But we are impressed with what we are seeing. It's not as business as usual, where money will be budgeted and then you won't see activities.
While some members advocate for immediate repairs, others believe in the necessity of building new refineries.
The last time there was an intervention here was 2008, which is more than 15 years now. But I am saying that even the issue of turnaround maintenance, we have to review it. I don't think it's a good policy. In most cases, the cost for turnaround maintenance is even higher than the cost of building the refinery. So let us look at building brand new refineries.
Senator Uba also highlighted the impact of regional insecurity on the Kaduna refinery's operations.
That they have a very good, big challenge in terms of expatriates coming down here because of insecurity issues. And they are working around that because some of the expatriates are declining, coming.
Despite Nigeria's status as a major oil producer, it still leads in petroleum importation, a situation officials seek to reverse by maximizing the production capacity of the existing refineries. Lope Asom, TVC News, Kaduna.
Let's turn now to Rivers State, where evacuation of vehicles burnt on Friday. Friday tankers explosion in Rivers have now been concluded. The clearing operation led to heavy traffic lockdown and left thousands of commuters stranded. Correspondent Tuchi Okoro reports.
The Federal Road Safety Corps says 4 persons died and 60 vehicles were affected by the fire, even though some eyewitnesses say the figure is higher. The removal of the wreckage began 2 days ago. Workers struggled to lift the last one in a bid to fully open this lane of the road to traffic. As a precaution, a fire truck was later deployed to ensure that the burnt tanker was safe for movement. The road was closed to vehicular movement, forcing passengers to walk long distances to reach their destinations.
It's affecting me. I'm trekking like this. I paid money. On reaching where the road block reach, I have to drop. Paid part of the money and walk. Nobody is happy. Let the road be free for everybody to move freely.
I felt that this should have been done maybe midnight when they pass by a little bit, not this much. People are going to work, a lot are coming back, and people are going to and fro. Then doing this by this time is not really good. I pray the government should learn from this next time and make life more easier for the citizens.
As the evacuation process continues, residents are hoping that the rehabilitation of this section of the east-west road is completed quickly. The fear is that the longer motorists are subjected to using only one lane of the road, the higher the risk of another accident occurring. Eventually, workers are able to lift and load the tanker on a low-bed trailer. By this time, another challenge was waiting for them, as the heavy-duty machinery must now find a way through the blocked access road. Uche Okoro, TVC News, Eleme.
We'll take a break now and return with more stories. Stay with us.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did this happen? We will be right there.
At TVC News, we follow the big and major news, gathering the facts, witnessing the outcome.
I am here live at the aftermath of the approval of the new national minimum wage.
We are TV Station of the Year, not just for breaking news, but for being first, fair and accurate. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Thanks for staying with us. A former director at the CBN has told the Lagos State Special Offences Court that he allegedly delivered $600,000 in cash and as gratification for the award of contracts to the former governor of the Apex Bank, Godwin Emefiele. Mr. Emefiele is being tried for alleged abuse of office and fraud totaling $4.5 billion and 2.8 billion naira. Kemi Foladeyemo reports.
John Ayo, who was the director of the IT department before his resignation in 2019, said he delivered the monies under duress upon Mr. Emefiele's instructions in 2 tranches. The first was a sum of $400,000 which was given to an assistant of Mr. Emefiele, and that he delivered the second envelope containing $200,000 personally to the first defendant at the bank's Lagos office. He told the courts that the vendors who allegedly brought the envelopes were in charge of the implementation of the NETAP Storage Architectural and Infrastructural Services contract. Rotimi Oyedepo SAN, leading the EFCC's team, presented the witness to give his evidence. During cross-examination led by Olalekan Ojo, SAN, the witness, who was also the head of procurement and support services at the CBN, said he was vested with powers to receive applications for award of contracts to select successful bidders. He added that Mr. Emefiele wasn't a member of the PSS team but a member of the major contracts tender committee, and that he faced immense pressure to bend the procurement rules under Mr. Emefiele's tenure as governor. Early on Monday, the court also rejected 2 bids by Mr. Emefiele to stall his trial. The defense had challenged the validity of the charges on basis of jurisdiction and constitutionality, saying the first defendant couldn't be prosecuted in any state high court.
However, His Lordship, in the exercise of his discretion, rejected our application that motion challenging jurisdiction be taken and pronounced upon first, and held that application challenging the jurisdiction of the High Court of Lagos State to entertain this case will be taken together with the substantive case. In other words, we will only be taken and pronounced upon at the final stage, that is when writing is judgment in the case.
Justice Ramano Shodi also granted the defense request and extended an order releasing the defendants to his counsel until May the 17th, the next adjourned date, following his inability to perfect his bail conditions.
Staying in Lagos, the federal government hopes to deliver 3 kilometers of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway by the end of May. Speaking at the demolition of shanties attached to Landmark Beach Resort, the minister asked Nigerians to embrace the infrastructure development in various parts of the country. Sarah Yeko reports.
For the past 3 days, the federal government has continued to sandfill the ocean and demolish structures along the first 3 kilometers of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, starting with Oniru Beach. The Minister of Works is directly supervising the demolition exercise. The next beachfront is that of Landmark. Before the bulldozers crush the shanties, business owners scramble to keep what they can save from the demolition. There is no time left for negotiation.
We need job. We don't think in Nigeria. The ones they give us, we are not seeing of collective from our hands. They should come and provide job for us.
The minister is insisting that the Landmark properties are intact and that the owner of the investment has no title to the 250-meter shoreline, which is the right-of-way belonging to the federal government.
No claim for Landmark. He has no claim. We spared all his infrastructure. We don't pay for shanties. And even those shanties are on our right-of-ways, 250 meters from the shoreline. So he has no claim. We made all the efforts to spare all his infrastructure. And that's why I say he's a politician. Me, I'm an engineer. And so while he plays the politics, I do the engineering work. You know, I don't know the attention he's seeking for when things are very practical.
The government has completed 1.2 kilometers of concrete pavement and hopes to finish up the gazetted 3 kilometers before the end of May. The ministry plans to complete the 700-kilometer project in 8 years. Sarah Ayeku, TVC News, Lagos.
Let's talk security now. The leadership of Operation Safe Haven has denied allegations that soldiers shot at students of the Plateau State University who were seen scampering for safety in a viral video. TVC News, Funam Joshua has details.
Just shooting students.
Gunshots, crying voices, alleging that soldiers are shooting at us and students scampering for safety characterize this video. The Thursday midnight attack and aftermath has allegedly left some people dead, including 2 students of the Plateau State University in Bokos. But in the midst of all these allegations, the commander of Operation Safe Haven, Major General Abdulsalam Abubakar, says he is not happy the way the efforts of the operatives in some troubled communities are being messed up.
The students were protesting the killing of one of their off-student campus students that was killed somewhere in Chikam the previous day, burning tires and destroyed personnel deployment position to protect the school against any incursion. The rampaging students also pelted security agencies with stones and other dangerous items, resulting in injuries to some of the personnel. However, personnel handled the situation professionally and exercised restraint. The trending video where students were claiming that personnel were shooting at them was the scene where they were firing warning shots to extricate themselves while under attack from the students. Some of the students who are obviously on drugs or intoxicants even attempted to disarm the personnel. It is worthy to note that at no time was the university itself under attack. Additionally, the students defied all appeal by the chief security officer of the university as well as other staff and advanced to attack a settlement behind the school. However, they were attacked short of that settlement, and the same personnel that they were attacking had to simply intervene to extricate them, with one student fatally shot.
Now, the university management has closed down the school for 10 days. The institution will, however, resume academic activities in the coming days. A fine of 7,000 per student is expected to be paid for all the destruction of properties during the protest at the school. Funam Joshua, TVC News, Jos.
In Borno State, about 1,000 children who are orphaned as a result of Boko Haram insurgency will now receive support from the Qatari government. Qatar's ambassador to Nigeria, Al bin Ghanem Al-Hajiri, was speaking during the groundbreaking ceremony of a new primary school in Maiduguri. Jessita Fida has details.
The 13-year conflict in the northeast region has resulted to about 1.6 million children to be out of school. That's according to the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF. But government and development partners are doing all they can to address issues of out-of-school children. Now, the Qatari government is in the state with good tidings. It is providing essential support to about 1,000 orphans. The state governor, Babagana Zulum, is happy with this gesture. He assured to provide all the support needed to make it a reality.
Apart from this project, they have been assisting the government of Borno State. 2 months ago, they provided some food items for us. And I think it's the one that was taken to Milan. Thank you very much. The relationship between the Middle East, the Arab world, and the people and government of Borno State need not to be overemphasized. Once again, on behalf of the government and people of Borno State, I want to sincerely appreciate the Qatari Charity Foundation, sincerely appreciate the ambassador for the role that he has been playing. And be rest assured that the government and people of Borno State will continue to pray for you.
A foundation of primary school meant for orphans in the state was laid by the Qatari government. This move is expected to go a long way in bridging the educational gap created by the 13-year conflict. Jessita Fida, TVC News, Maiduguri.
Outside Nigeria, university students in the United States are defying police restraint as they continue protests over the war in Gaza. Police have arrested several students as they dismantled an encampment set up by the students in protest. The arrests at the University of Texas at Austin also came as Columbia University in New York City began suspending students after they defied an ultimatum to disperse. The protesters are calling the universities to cut ties with Israel, accused of committing genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. More than 900 protesters have been arrested across the United States as demonstrations against Israel's attack continue to spread. At least 34,000 Palestinians have been killed and more than 77,000 wounded in Gaza since 7th of October last year. And that's the news of this hour. For more updates on the stories we're monitoring, you can visit our website, tvcnews.tv, or follow us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News NG. On YouTube, we're live at TVC News Nigeria. See you again at the top of the hour.
Stay ahead with the biggest news stories. Go beyond the news headlines. Experience impactful investigations. Enjoy resourceful news coverage in real time. TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. Live every day on this channel.
TVC News, first with breaking news.
Albert Chinua Lumogu Achebe was born November 16, 1930 in Ogidi, Nigeria. He went to Government College in Umuahia, Nigeria. In 1948, Achebe won a scholarship to the University of Ibadan to study medicine, but after a year, he changed his major to writing. After graduation in 1953, he became a scriptwriter for the Nigerian Broadcasting Service (NBS), eventually becoming the head programmer for the discussion series. In 1956, he visited London for the first time to take a training course with the BBC. On returning, he moved to Enugu and edited and produced stories for the NBS. Achebe was unhappy with books about Africa written by British authors such as Joseph Conrad and John Buchan because he felt the descriptions of African people were inaccurate and insulting. In his spare time, he worked on Things Fall Apart. The novel was published in 1958. The book won immediate international recognition and also became the basis for a play. His second book, No Longer at Ease, published in 1960, is set in the last decade before Nigeria achieved independence. In 1961, Chinua Achebe met and married Christiana Chinwe Okoli, and they eventually had 4 children. The third book in the African trilogy, Arrow of God, was published in 1964. Achebe published his 4th novel, A Man of the People, in 1966. The novel tells the story of the widespread corruption of Nigerian politicians and ends in a military coup. During the Biafra conflict, Achebe's house was bombed and his friend Christopher Okili was killed. Achebe and his family went into hiding in Biafra and then fled to Britain for the duration of the war. From 1972 to 1976, Achebe held a visiting professorship in African literature